And well, for more on this, we are now being joined by Dr. Syed Imamian, Assistant Professor at Tehran Polytechnic, and he is joining us live from Tehran. Welcome to WION, Dr. Imamian.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Now, as you've also read, Iran's supreme leader has rejected U.S. talks over the nuclear deal, calling Trump's letter a deception. How do you see Iran's rejection on this, and what kind of consequences will this lead to, if any? Because Trump earlier said that if Iran does not accept the deal, then it will be handled militarily.
Actually, in my point of view, such kind of the policy doesn't come out of a vacuum. We have a long history of Iran-US mistrust, or I would say distrust. The most important event happened 2018 when the Trump himself withdrew from the JCPOA. So there is a long history of the mistrust and distrust, I would say. So we need to understand the logic or the rationale behind such kind of the, I think, primarily rejection. But at the same time, I think in principle, there are a lot of hope and also challenges in the way of Iran and US relationship. From a challenges point of view, I think one challenge, of course, is the history. And we need to come out to some solution to overcome such kind of the distrust, very deep distrust between two nations and two political systems. And the second thing is the problem of the language. I think the language that someone like Trump uses is quite humiliating. So with regards to the Iranian culture and Iranian tradition, I think that the tradition of the respect and honor kind of the discussion and language is very important. And the last important, I think, factor or characteristics of the current challenging discussion and negotiation between Iran and US is a very negative role that the Israeli lobby is playing in the DC. So everyone knows that Netanyahu has dreamed for a long time, for decades, to bring US to a direct conflict, military conflict with Iran. It's something that he is very hopeful to convince someone like Trump to finally do that. So we cannot ignore the role and the importance and the influence of the Israeli lobby in the DC and the Netanyahu himself as a very important person that is very in good connection with the Trump.
Right.
But at the same time, there are a lot of hope. I think that, in my point of view, whilst the primary connection has been very challenging, but at the same time, there are a lot of commonalities between Iran and US that the negotiation could build upon those kind of commonalities. First of all, we have a long history of the kind of the cooperation between Iran and US since 2001, after the 9/11. It was a huge cooperation between Iran and US in combating terrorism in Afghanistan, Iraq, and combating ISIS in Syria and Iraq from 2014 onward. At the same time, the terrorism is still a challenge for both countries. It's a common mutual concern that they could work on combating terrorism, regional terrorism together. And it could be one of the building points for such kind of negotiation. The second thing, that's the most important thing, if you don't mind me to say that, is that I think the final target of the negotiation at the moment is kind of the common, at least in language, is a common objective for both sides. And Ayatollah Khamenei also said, if Trump really main concern is really only having preventing Iran from accessing nuclear bombs. So it's something already happened. Yeah.
Right. I hear you. You listed out the challenges in Iran-US ties, but the point of contention right now is that Iran's stock uranium has enriched up to 60%. While Khamenei clearly said that Iran is not interested in nuclear weapons, and America cannot stop them. But this is a point of contention, and apart from that, you do speak of how there's mistrust and distrust between both the countries. But I want to ask you that at this point of time, with Iran rejecting the offer, does Tehran even want to negotiate right now?
Actually, as you know, I am an academic and I'm not representing the public departments. But from my understanding, Iran has been open for negotiation and is going to be open for real negotiation. But as I said, if we could imagine a kind of the real negotiation with respectful kind of the language, with kind of the objectives that is agreeable between both parts, and also without any kind of the humiliative framework that it seems we never heard anything by evidence, but we have heard that some rumors comes out of the letter that Trump has sent has a very bad language with a lot of what's called a kind of the conditions that is out of the target that has been mentioned. If target is preventing Iran from having access to nuclear military bomb, yes, it would be very clear and would agreeable. But if because of that you are going to have some more very aggressive conditions and prerequisites, so it would be out of a kind of a meaningful negotiation. But
right.
I would say both sides, I think, apart from such kind of the harsh languages, but both sides are willing to have a kind of the meaningful language, meaningful negotiation. And I'm very much hopeful if they could overcome
right.
the negative role that Netanyahu and the Israeli lobby is playing now, they could come to kind of the agreements. Just they need to overcome
right.
the challenges that I mentioned before.
Okay. Right, Doctor. Thank you so much for joining us in WION and sharing your insights with us.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.